Previously.
Free, he said, but how about you join us for dinner tonight? We can talk more then. Dr. Gage agreed, and they said their goodbyes. Dex couldn't decide who looked sadder about being left behind, Dad or the dog. Hello, everybody. This is Book of the Night 5, I believe. Book of the Night 5. We're still reading this I Survived book. It's crazy, so I think we just got to get into it again. I think it was Book of the Night 3 that I forgot to turn the music on. I'm not gonna make that same mistake twice. Okay? Now let's get started, shall we? Look, he already looks tired. Look. Here, I'm gonna move the light over here. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay, there we go. 3, 2, 1. First, I want to get to the page. Yeah, so this is where we left off at. So you're doing chapters 7 and 8 today. 3, 2, 1. Chapter 7. It was Wednesday, April 3rd, 1974. Dr. Gage began. My 11th birthday. I got a brand new bike, and after school, all I wanted to do was ride around town to show it off. Dr. Gage grew up in a small Alabama town called Jasper with his parents and 2 little sisters. Beautiful place, quiet and friendly, a little like Joplin. The day was hot and very humid, not unusual for Alabama. In the springtime, there were thunderstorms forecast all around the south up into Ohio. That wasn't so unusual either. I need to get my little drink over there, so y'all can just go. Okay, got this. Got my cola. I know, it probably looks like wine or something. It's Coca-Cola, just to be clear. Quenches the thirst perfectly. Say that though. Okay. Okay, let's continue. But there was nothing usual about these storms. They were supercells. Well, Dr. Gage was happily riding his bike along the peaceful streets of Jasper. Storms were already unleashing tornadoes for hundreds of miles in every direction. Boom! A tornado touched down in Cleveland, Tennessee, destroying the entire downtown. Boom! Another took aim at Xena, a high hill, wiping out a neighborhood of brick houses, destroying a high school and killing 32 people. Boom, boom, boom. Tornadoes struck in Kentucky, Indiana, and Georgia. At 5:15, the skies in Jasper grew suddenly dark, and it began to pour. I figured it was just a thunderstorm. I was more worried about my bike getting rusty than anything else. The town had no siren, so Dr. Gage had no way of knowing that a massive rain-wrapped tornado was heading right for him. You're lucky. Here you go, audience. So you can have the book. Hold up. I pulled to the side of the road to wait out the storm. I waited there under a tree, thinking about the cake my mother was making for me. It started to hail huge stones that pounded down. My ears started to pop like crazy. I didn't know that was a sign that a tornado was coming. The air pressure is so low inside a tornado that a sudden change in pressure makes your ears pop, like when you're in an airplane. Dex had never heard that. And then there was a sound like nothing I'd ever heard before. Most people say that a tornado sounds like a speeding freight train, but every tornado sounds different. This one was roaring and hissing like some kind of snake. Stuff started flying through the air. Leaves, branches, and roof shingless. Don't know that. I don't know. I've never heard of that word. That's when I realized what was happening. What did you do? Dex asked. There was a big ditch right at the side of the road. I dove and had wedged myself under the root of a huge tree. Held on for dear life. I got plumbed pretty badly. The tractor came flying out of the sky and crashed down about 10 feet from me. The tree I had been standing under was ripped out of the ground. My arm got sliced by a hunk of steel pipe that hit me at 150 miles per hour. Dex shuddered. But I was incredibly lucky, Dr. Gage said. I made it, and so did my parents and my sisters. They rode out the storm in our basement. My house was pretty much destroyed, but we felt blessed. 23 people in our town were killed, including 2 of my friends. It turned out that the EF3 tornado that hit Jasper was part of what would become known as the super outbreak of 1974. Over 24 hours, 148 tornadoes touched down in 13 states. By the time the skies had cleared, more than 330 people were dead. You think that after that I'd stay as far away from tornadoes as I could, but I decided to learn everything about them. I became obsessed. The more we know about tornadoes, the better we will be able to predict when and where they'll strike, I think. Go lucky. Okay. Hit. Okay. It hit. You know, last month there was another super outbreak of tornadoes all across the South. That's where Jimmy and Sarah got caught. It was as bad as the one in 1974. We lost 321 people. So we haven't made much progress. Dex, we need a much better early warning system so that people aren't caught by surprise. Something in Dr. Gage's voice, a steely edge, reminded Dex of Jeremy. How he sounded when he talked about his missions. They were alike. Dex realized both were trying to make the world safer, but both were risking their lives. Both were hunting killers. Dex wanted to know more about what had happened to Dr. Gage that day. But just then, Dr. Gage pointed out the window at a whirl of thick gray clouds rushing in from the west. There it is, he exclaimed. It was their storm. The chase was on. And a little itch. Chapter 8. Okay. They followed the storm east for about 3 miles and then we pulled off the road. They got out and stood at the edge of the cornfield. The air was steamy and thick, and the wind was stronger. The corn plants rippled like waves on a stormy ocean. They stood for a few minutes, watching as the metal gray clouds grew thicker and darker. Before Dux's eyes, the cloud formed itself into a giant. There you go, audience. There you go. Anyways, a giant circle. Okay, hold up. Okay, to a giant circle. The bottom was perfectly flat, and the top towered up into the sky, as though it would bump into the moon. Dex thought it looked like a UFO, but Dr. Gage had a more scientific name for it. That's a perfect cumulonimbus cloud. He stared in awe. Those are the clouds that make tornadoes. And hold up. I just wanted to look up, see at the camera, see how long we have. How long we've been, I've been reading. Okay, Dr. Gage walked to the back of the SUV and popped open the tailgate. Let's get some sound pods into the sky, he said, grabbing the rifle. Would you like to do the shooting? Dex took the rifle, trying to act if it was no big deal. But inside his brain, an excited a little voice was screaming, I get to shoot the pods! I get to shoot the pods! Dr. Gage grabbed 4 of the silver balls. He took a quick look at the weather radar. I think the storm is actually losing strength. Sure enough, that UFO cloud was already melting apart like gray ice cream left out in the sun. Let's shoot some pods out anyway. I'm curious to hear what's going on in there. We'll go into the middle of the field. The winds will be better. Dr. Gage led Dex into the middle of the cornfield, where stalks rose up past Dex's knees. He helped Dex load the balls into the rifle, pull the trigger 4 times with about 5 seconds in between. Dex aimed up at the cloud. Piff, 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 pew. Each of the silver balls streaked up into the air and then pop, 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 pop. One by one, the pods burst open, releasing the balloons. They rose up through the sky like 4 brave soldiers, ready for a daring mission. Perfect, Dr. Gage exclaimed. Here you go, Lucky. Here you go, audience. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna check one thing. Oh yeah, we're almost done today. Dex's heart leaped up, and he thought of Jeremy. His brother would love this. Dex could imagine Jeremy chiming laugh, how his blue eyes would gleam, how they'd talk about this for weeks. And then came a familiar gut stab of worry as Dex wondered where on earth his brother was. He closed his eyes, trying to block out the pictures of exploding bombs and burning tanks that flashed through his mind. And then, boom! For a second, Dex thought a bomb had blasted out of his mind and into the field. But when he opened his eyes, he saw bolts of lightning tearing open the storm cloud. The cloud had turned black and was billowing like smoke. Boom! Dex could actually feel electricity pulsing through the air. The hairs on his arms stood straight up from the shock. Boom, boom, boom! Lightning bolts shot out of the cloud like flaming spears. There you go, Lucky. Here you go. Oh, sorry. Oh, Lucky's like sleeping. Okay, one last page. Kaboom! Dr. Gage grabbed Dex's arm. I was wrong about this storm. It's dangerous. We need to get away from this lightning. Kaboom! A tree at the edge of a field got hit and exploded into millions of pieces. The skies burst open and rain came pouring down in sheets and seconds. Dex's hair and clothes were soaked. He ran with Dr. Gage, slipping in the mud, blinking away the raindrops that splashed into his eyes. And then came the hail. The stones were small at first, but soon Dex and Dr. Gage were being plummeted by big rocks. Cover your head, Dr. Gage boomed. Dex put his hands over his head, but it didn't help. It was like getting hit by a baseball pitched at 100 miles an hour. They were just a few feet from the car when a huge hailstone smashed into Dex. He saw a burst of stars, and next thing he knew, he was on the ground. In Chapter 9, but remember, we're doing Chapter 9 for tomorrow. We're almost done with this book, actually. There's Chapter 9, Chapter 10 tomorrow, but next day is going to be Chapters 11 for 13, I believe. Yeah, 2013 chapters, 14 chapters. Oh, 15 chapters. Okay, I was wrong. So, it's going to be, so tomorrow, we'll do 9, 10, then the next day, we're doing 11 and 12, then we'll do the rest on the other day. Anyways, yes, this is all for now. Yeah, see you all next time. Hope y'all had a great day. Anyways, I'll see you next time. You'll see you next time too. Yeah, let's stop the music. 1 hour, 25 minutes, 4 seconds. That's how far we've gotten for the music today, I guess. Yeah, I have to take a little sip of this, so hold on. Yeah, that's all. So, have a good day. Again, be lucky. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Peace out.